Welcome to the shadows of Oregon. There's something undeniably eerie about stepping into a place where time has stood still, where the echoes of the past whisper through empty streets and crumbling buildings. Oregon, with its misty forests, rugged coastline, and forgotten towns, is a land steeped in history, and haunted by the restless spirits of those who once called it home. From the fog-drenched alleys of Portland to the desolate stretches of the Oregon Trail, the state is home to countless locations where the veil between the living and the dead feels unnervingly thin. Whether you're a believer in the supernatural or simply drawn to the thrill of a good ghost story, Oregon's most haunted places offer a chilling glimpse into the unknown. This episode continues our journey through Oregon's most spine-tingling locations, uncovering the tragic histories and eerie phenomena that have earned them a place among the most haunted in the nation. In our first installment, we explored the eerie halls of Waverly Hills Sanatorium, the blood-soaked streets of Calico, and the phantom trains of St. Elmo. Now, we delve deeper into Oregon's haunted heart, where forgotten tunnels, cursed lighthouses, and shadowy figures in the woods await. These are not just places of historical significance, they are places where the past refuses to be forgotten, where the air hums with an energy that defies explanation, and where even the bravest souls feel an inexplicable chill run down their spines. From the Shanghai tunnels beneath Portland, where the cries of the lost still echo through the darkness, to the lady in white who haunts the cliffs of Hasetta Head Lighthouse. Each location we explore carries a story steeped in tragedy and mystery. Some are the sites of unsolved murders, others are rumored to have been built on cursed land, and many have become infamous for the paranormal activity reported within their decaying walls. Whether these places are truly haunted or merely the product of human imagination, they continue to captivate and unsettle those who dare to visit them. As we venture deeper into the shadows of Oregon, prepare yourself for tales that will send chills down your spine. Some of these locations have been featured in paranormal television shows, while others remain shrouded in secrecy, known only to those who seek them out. Whether you're watching from the safety of your home or daring to explore one of these sites in person, the stories we uncover will leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil of the living. So, take a deep breath, steel your nerves, and join us as we step into the darkness, where history, horror, and the supernatural intertwine. The Shanghai tunnels of Portland, a labyrinth of suffering and lost souls beneath the bustling streets of Portland, Oregon, lies a hidden network of tunnels that once served as a grim reminder of the city's lawless past. Known as the Shanghai Tunnels, these underground passageways stretch for miles beneath the downtown area, connecting basements, saloons, and storefronts in a labyrinth of darkness. Originally constructed in the late 19th century to allow merchants to transport goods safely during the frequent floods that plagued the city, the tunnels soon became infamous for a much darker purpose, one that would leave an indelible mark on Portland's history and give rise to the chilling legend of the lost souls who still wander its depths. During the late 1800s and early 1900s, Portland was a major port city, attracting sailors, traders, and fortune seekers from around the world. However, the city's docks were also a haven for criminal activity, particularly the sinister practice of crimping, a form of kidnapping where unsuspecting men were drugged, knocked unconscious, and sold into forced labor aboard ships bound for distant ports. The Shanghai tunnels became the perfect tool for these operations, allowing unscrupulous labor brokers, known as crimps, to smuggle their victims from taverns and boarding houses directly onto waiting vessels without them ever realizing what had happened. Victims were often lured into saloons with promises of free drinks, only to wake up in the tunnels, disoriented and trapped. Some were beaten into submission, while others were simply locked in cells until a ship was ready to depart. The tunnels were designed to be disorienting, with low ceilings, twisting corridors, and hidden exits that made escape nearly impossible. Many who disappeared in the tunnels were never seen again, their fates sealed by the brutal practices of the crimps. It is said that the cries of the lost still echo through the underground passages, their spirits unable to leave the place where they met their fate. Over the years, numerous accounts have emerged of paranormal activity within the tunnels. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported hearing faint whispers in the darkness, the sound of distant footsteps echoing through the corridors, and the sensation of unseen hands brushing against their skin. Some have even claimed to see shadowy figures moving along the tunnel walls, only for them to vanish when approached. One of the most frequently reported phenomena is the sound of a man sobbing in the distance, followed by the sudden slamming of an iron door, though no such doors exist in the tunnels today. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of explorers who ventured into the tunnels in the 1990s. As they made their way through a narrow passage, they reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they were being watched by something just beyond their line of sight. Suddenly, one member of the group felt a cold hand grip his shoulder, sending him into a panic. When he turned around, there was no one there. The group quickly retreated, swearing they would never return. Despite the eerie atmosphere, the Shanghai tunnels have become a popular destination for ghost hunters and history enthusiasts alike. Several tours now offer guided explorations of the tunnels, sharing the dark history of the crimping trade while recounting the strange occurrences that continue to plague the underground network. Whether these experiences are the result of psychological suggestion or the lingering presence of the lost souls who once roamed these tunnels, one thing is certain: the Shanghai tunnels remain a place where the past refuses to be forgotten. Today, the tunnels serve as a stark reminder of Portland's turbulent history, a hidden world beneath the city where the echoes of suffering still linger. Whether you believe in the supernatural or simply appreciate a good ghost story, the Shanghai tunnels offer an unforgettable journey into the darkness, a place where history, horror, and the unknown intertwine in ways that defy explanation. Heseda Head Lighthouse, the Lady in White and the Curse of the Sea. Perched high on a cliff overlooking the rugged Oregon coast, Heseda Head Lighthouse stands as a silent sentinel against the relentless waves of the Pacific Ocean. Built in 1894, this iconic lighthouse was once a vital beacon for ships navigating the treacherous waters below, its powerful light guiding countless vessels safely through the night. However, beneath its picturesque exterior lies a history steeped in tragedy and mystery, one that has given rise to one of the most enduring ghost stories in Oregon. The legend of the Lady in White is said to have begun in the late 19th century, when the lighthouse's assistant keeper, John A. Hughes, and his family resided in the keeper's quarters. According to local lore, Hughes' wife, Florence, was a kind and devoted woman who lived a quiet life alongside her husband and their children. However, her happiness was short-lived. In 1896, Florence reportedly fell into a deep depression, possibly due to the isolation of lighthouse life and the loss of her infant child. Desperate and overcome with despair, she is believed to have taken her own life by jumping from the cliffs below the lighthouse, her body vanishing into the sea below. Since that fateful day, visitors and staff at Heseda Head have reported encountering the ghostly figure of a woman dressed in flowing white garments, her presence both sorrowful and unsettling. Many claim to have seen her standing near the edge of the cliff, gazing out at the ocean as if searching for something, or someone, that was lost to the waves. Others have reported seeing her wandering the lighthouse grounds, her form flickering like a candle flame before vanishing into thin air. The most chilling accounts come from those who have claimed to see her inside the lighthouse itself, where she appears to be adjusting the beam, as if still fulfilling her role as the keeper's wife. One of the most well-documented encounters occurred in the 1930s, when a new lighthouse keeper arrived at Heseda Head. On his first night in the residence, he claimed to hear the soft sound of footsteps pacing back and forth in the hallway outside his room. When he opened the door, he was met with an overwhelming sense of sorrow, as if an unseen presence was mourning just beyond his vision. The following morning, he discovered that the lighthouse's brass oil lamp had been mysteriously polished overnight, an act that would have required hours of meticulous work, yet there was no sign of who had done it. Beyond the legend of Florence Hughes, the lighthouse itself carries an eerie energy that many attribute to the countless shipwrecks that have occurred along the jagged coastline below. The waters surrounding Heseda Head are known as the Graveyard of the Pacific, where hundreds of vessels have been lost to violent storms and hidden reefs. Some believe that the Lady in White is not only the spirit of Florence but also a guardian of the lost souls who perished in the sea, her presence a reminder of the dangers that lurk beneath the waves. Today, Heseda Head Lighthouse remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill seekers alike. The lighthouse is open to the public, offering guided tours that delve into both its historical significance and its haunted reputation. Whether you believe in ghosts or simply enjoy a good ghost story, the sight of the lady in white wandering the cliffs of Hasset ahead is enough to send chills down the spine of even the most skeptical visitor. As the waves crash against the rocks below and the fog rolls in from the sea, it becomes easy to believe that some spirits never truly leave the places they once called home. The Cachell Theater, a stage of eternal performance deep within the small coastal town of Gold Beach, Oregon, stands the Cachell Theater, a once grand vaudeville hall that has become infamous for its lingering spirits and eerie occurrences. Built in 1925 by local entrepreneur George Cachell, the theater was a cultural hub for the community, hosting traveling performers, silent films, and live stage productions. Its ornate architecture, red velvet curtains, and grand stage made it a beloved landmark for decades. However, as the years passed, the theater fell into decline, eventually closing its doors in the 1980s. Today, the building remains abandoned, its dusty stage still echoing with the whispers of the past, whispers that many believe belong to the restless souls who once performed there. The Cachell Theater's haunted reputation stems from a tragic incident that occurred in the 1940s. According to local legend, a stagehand named Thomas Granger was working late one night when a fire broke out backstage. Trapped by the flames, Granger was unable to escape and perished inside the theater. His death was a devastating blow to the community, and though the building was repaired, something about the atmosphere changed after that night. Over the years, employees and patrons alike reported strange occurrences: lights flickering without cause, the sound of footsteps echoing through empty hallways, and the distant strains of an unseen orchestra rehearsing in the dead of night. One of the most frequently reported hauntings involves the apparition of a woman in a vintage stage costume, believed to be the ghost of a performer who once graced the Cachell's stage. Witnesses claim to have seen her standing in the balcony, watching silently as if waiting for the curtain to rise on her next performance. Some have even reported hearing her singing softly in the empty auditorium, her voice drifting through the dust-laden air before fading into silence. Others describe a sudden drop in temperature in certain areas of the theater, particularly near the stage, as if an unseen presence is standing just beyond the veil of reality. Perhaps the most chilling account comes from a group of paranormal investigators who conducted an overnight session in the theater in 2017. As they explored the backstage area, one of the team members reported feeling an invisible force pushing him forward, as if being guided toward the wings of the stage. At the same time, another investigator captured what they believed to be an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, on audio equipment. The voice, speaking in a low, raspy tone, was reportedly saying, "The show must go on. I'm still waiting for my cue." While skeptics may dismiss such claims, the sheer volume of reported sightings and experiences at the Cachell Theater suggests that the past is far from forgotten. Despite its eerie reputation, the Cachell Theater remains a point of fascination for historians and ghost hunters alike. Some believe that the spirits of former performers and stagehands still linger, forever bound to the place where they once found purpose and passion. Others speculate that the theater itself is a conduit for the past, preserving the echoes of lives long gone. Whether the hauntings are the result of residual energy or something more sentient, the Cachell Theater continues to remind visitors that some stories refuse to be left in the shadows. As the wind howls through the broken windows and the floorboards creak beneath unseen feet, the Cachell Theater stands as a testament to the enduring power of the arts and the ghosts that refuse to let the curtain fall. The Oregon Vortex, a place where reality warps nestle deep in the rugged hills of southern Oregon, just outside the town of Gold Hill, lies one of the most mysterious and unsettling places in the state, the Oregon Vortex. This seemingly ordinary patch of forest has become infamous for its bizarre optical illusions, gravitational anomalies, and the persistent reports of paranormal activity that have baffled scientists and thrill-seekers alike. Locals have long whispered about the strange occurrences that take place within the vortex, where the laws of physics appear to bend, and the air hums with an energy that defies explanation. The Oregon Vortex first gained notoriety in the early 20th century, when a local farmer named William Gerlach stumbled upon the site while exploring his land. He noticed that objects placed on the ground appeared to roll uphill, people standing side by side seemed to shift in height, and compass needles spun wildly without direction. Convinced that he had discovered something extraordinary, Gerlach opened the site to the public, branding it as a mystery spot, where visitors could experience the strange phenomena firsthand. Since then, the Oregon Vortex has become a popular tourist attraction, drawing in those eager to witness the inexplicable for themselves. One of the most unsettling aspects of the vortex is the feeling of unease that many visitors report upon entering the area. Some describe a sudden drop in temperature, while others claim to hear faint whispers carried by the wind. A few have even reported seeing shadowy figures lurking at the edges of the forest, only to vanish when approached. According to local legend, the vortex is haunted by the spirits of indigenous people who once lived in the region, their presence lingering due to the site's supposed sacred energy. Others believe that the area is cursed, a place where the veil between worlds is thin, allowing spirits from beyond to slip through. Paranormal investigators have attempted to document the strange occurrences at the Oregon Vortex, with some claiming to have captured unexplainable phenomena on film and audio recordings. In 2014, a team of researchers recorded what they described as a low-frequency hum resonating through the trees, a sound that was inaudible to the human ear but clearly picked up by their equipment. Another investigator reported feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched, as if unseen eyes were following them from the dense underbrush. Some have even claimed to see orbs of light flickering in the trees, their glow pulsing before disappearing into the darkness. Despite numerous studies, no definitive explanation has been found for the vortex's anomalies. Some scientists suggest that the optical illusions are caused by a natural tilt in the landscape, creating a distorted perspective that tricks the human eye. Others believe that magnetic fields in the area may interfere with compass readings and electronic devices. However, these explanations do little to account for the eerie sensations and ghostly sightings reported by visitors. Whether the Oregon Vortex is a scientific anomaly, a spiritual gateway, or simply a place where the mind plays tricks, one thing remains certain: those who enter rarely forget the experience. Today, the Oregon Vortex remains a popular destination for those seeking adventure, mystery, and perhaps a brush with the unknown. Whether you believe in the supernatural or simply enjoy a good mystery, the Vortex offers an unforgettable journey into the heart of the unexplained. As the trees sway in the wind and the shadows stretch long across the forest floor, it becomes easy to believe that something unseen is watching, waiting for the next visitor to step into its grasp. The Exorcist Steps of Portland. A trail of screams tucked away in the heart of Portland's historic Old Town district lies a seemingly ordinary flight of stone steps that has become infamous for its chilling connection to one of the most terrifying horror films of all time, The Exorcist. Known locally as the Exorcist Steps, this unassuming staircase is said to be the real-life inspiration for the haunting scene in which Father Karras throws himself from the rooftop of the Georgetown house in a desperate attempt to save Reagan McNeil from the demon within her. However, the true terror of these steps does not stem from fiction alone. Local legend claims that the site is haunted by the lingering presence of a real-life exorcism gone horribly wrong. The steps in question are located behind the now-closed Circle Cinema, a historic movie theater that once showed classic horror films to eager audiences. While The Exorcist was not actually filmed in Portland, the city played a role in the film's eerie legacy. In the early 1970s, shortly after the film's release, a local woman reportedly became convinced that she was possessed by a demonic entity. According to urban legend, she sought out a self-proclaimed exorcist who agreed to perform a ritual to rid her of the supposed evil. The exorcism took place on the very steps that would later be associated with the exorcist. What happened next remains a matter of speculation, but the woman allegedly collapsed on the steps and died under mysterious circumstances. Some say she suffered a heart attack brought on by the stress of the ritual, while others believe that whatever force had taken hold of her had finally been released, leaving behind an energy that still lingers to this day. Since that night, visitors and locals alike have reported strange occurrences near the steps. Some claim to hear faint whispers in the darkness, while others describe an overwhelming sense of dread when walking past the alleyway. A few have even reported seeing a shadowy figure standing at the top of the stairs, only for it to vanish when approached. One of the most unsettling accounts comes from a group of paranormal investigators who visited the site in 2012. As they set up their equipment near the steps, they captured what they believed to be an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, on audio recordings. The voice, speaking in a low, raspy tone, was reportedly saying, "Help me! I'm still trapped." The investigators, shaken by the experience, reportedly refused to return to the site. Others have claimed to see the faint outline of a woman kneeling on the steps, her head bowed as if in prayer, only to disappear into the night. Despite the eerie reputation of the Exorcist steps, they remain a popular destination for thrill-seekers and horror film enthusiasts. Some visit out of curiosity, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural, while others steer clear, unwilling to tempt fate. Whether the hauntings are the result of the tragic events that unfolded there or merely the power of suggestion, one thing is certain: the Exorcist steps of Portland continue to remind visitors that some places carry a darkness that refuses to be forgotten. Bagby Hot Springs, a sanctuary of sorrow nestled deep within the Mount Hood National Forest, lies Bagby Hot Springs, a remote and serene natural retreat that has become infamous for its haunting history and eerie occurrences. Once a thriving destination for weary travelers seeking relaxation in its soothing mineral waters, Bagby Hot Springs has since fallen into disrepair, its wooden bathhouses now crumbling under the weight of time. But beyond its physical decay lies a deeper darkness, one that has left an indelible mark on the land, giving rise to the chilling legend of a caretaker who never truly left. The origins of Bagby Hot Springs date back to the early 20th century, when the area was developed as a public bathing facility. By the 1930s, the site had become a popular destination for hikers and outdoor enthusiasts, offering a rustic yet tranquil escape from the outside world. The hot springs were maintained by a dedicated caretaker who lived in a small cabin near the pools, ensuring that the facility remained in good condition for visitors. However, in the 1970s, the caretaker was found dead in his cabin under mysterious circumstances, and the facility was eventually abandoned. According to local legend, the caretaker had grown increasingly reclusive in his final years, rarely seen by visitors who came to soak in the mineral waters. Some claimed to hear him muttering to himself in the dead of night, while others reported feeling an overwhelming sense of unease when entering the bathhouses alone. After his death, rumors began to spread that his spirit had never truly left the springs, that he remained bound to the place he had once called home. Visitors to Bagby Hot Springs have reported a variety of strange occurrences, ranging from inexplicable temperature fluctuations to the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty bathhouses. Some claim to have seen the faint outline of a man standing near the edge of the pools, only for the figure to vanish when approached. Others have reported hearing the distant sound of a man humming, a tune that fades into silence as one moves closer. Perhaps the most unsettling account comes from a group of hikers who stayed overnight at the springs in the early 2000s. They claimed to hear the sound of someone knocking on the door of the main bathhouse in the middle of the night. When they opened the door, no one was there, only the sound of retreating footsteps disappearing into the darkness. Despite its eerie reputation, Bagby Hot Springs remains a popular destination for hikers and nature lovers, drawn by the allure of its remote beauty. However, for those who visit at night, the atmosphere shifts, and the feeling of being watched becomes almost tangible. Whether these experiences are the result of the lingering presence of the caretaker or simply the product of an overactive imagination, one thing is certain: Bagby Hot Springs is a place where the past refuses to be forgotten. The Whiskey Row Fire, a legacy of flames and spirits in the heart of Astoria, Oregon, lies a stretch of historic downtown known as Whiskey Row, a place that once thrived as a hub of saloons, hotels, and rowdy revelry during the city's booming maritime era. But beneath its charming facade lies a history steeped in tragedy, one that has left an indelible mark on the land and the spirits that are said to still wander its streets. The most infamous event associated with Whiskey Row is the devastating fire of 1922, a catastrophe that consumed entire blocks of the district and claimed the lives of countless residents. To this day, the echoes of that fateful night linger, and those who dare to walk the streets after dark claim to hear the distant crackling of flames and the anguished cries of the lost. Whiskey Row earned its name in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when Astoria was a bustling port city teeming with sailors, dockworkers, and fortune seekers. The area became known for its rowdy saloons, where whiskey flowed freely and disputes often ended in gunfire. However, the district's reputation for excess and disorder was forever changed on July 19, 1922, when a fire broke out in the lower level of the Liberty Theater. The flames quickly spread, fueled by the dry wooden structures that lined the streets, and within hours, entire blocks were engulfed in fire. The inferno raged for nearly 2 days, leaving behind a trail of destruction that wiped out over 100 buildings and left hundreds homeless. While official records state that only 1 life was lost in the blaze, local lore tells a different story. According to legend, many of the town's residents, particularly those who had been drinking in the saloons that night, were trapped as the fire consumed the streets. Some were unable to escape the collapsing buildings, while others were caught in the chaos of the stampede toward the riverfront. In the years following the fire, reports of paranormal activity in the rebuilt Whiskey Row district began to surface, with witnesses describing ghostly apparitions and eerie sounds that seemed to echo from the past. Ladd Marsh Wildlife Area, the phantom hitchhiker of La Grande deep in the rolling hills of eastern Oregon, nestled near the small town of La Grande, lies Ladd Marsh Wildlife Area, a serene expanse of wetlands and forests that serves as a sanctuary for migratory birds and nature enthusiasts. However, beneath its peaceful surface lies a chilling legend that has persisted for decades. The story of a phantom hitchhiker whose presence has been felt by countless travelers who have passed through the area. Known locally as the Ghost of Ladd Marsh, this spectral figure is said to appear on the roadside, hitchhiking in the dead of night, only to vanish before reaching her destination. The legend of the Ladd Marsh hitchhiker dates back to the early 1960s, when a young woman named Emily Carter was reportedly last seen hitchhiking along the road that ran through the marsh. According to local lore, Emily had been visiting friends in La Grande and decided to return home to Pendleton by hitchhiking. However, she was never seen again. Her disappearance sparked a massive search effort, but no trace of her was ever found. Some believed she had been picked up by a stranger who never returned her home, while others speculated that she had been the victim of foul play. However, the legend took a supernatural turn in the years that followed, as multiple witnesses began reporting eerie encounters with a hitchhiker matching Emily's description. The most common account of the phantom hitchhiker involves drivers picking up a young woman along the road near Ladd Marsh, only to realize something is amiss when she begins speaking about events from decades ago. Some claim she talks about the Kennedy assassination or old radio broadcasts that no longer exist. Others describe the temperature dropping significantly inside the vehicle, as if an unseen presence has entered. The encounter always ends the same way. The driver glances in the rearview mirror and finds the hitchhiker has vanished, leaving behind only the lingering scent of lavender or the sound of distant sobbing. The Baker Street Pub, spirits of the Old West tucked away in the heart of Jacksonville, Oregon, a town steeped in Wild West history, stands the Baker Street Pub. A historic establishment that has become infamous for its lingering spirits and eerie occurrences. Originally built in the 1850s, the pub was once a popular gathering place for miners, ranchers, and outlaws who flocked to the region during the Gold Rush era. Echoes beyond the veil as we bring this journey through Oregon's most haunted places to a close. One truth remains undeniable. These locations are more than crumbling structures and forgotten streets. They are echoes of lives lived, tragedies endured, and mysteries left unresolved.